Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
Even now, the wind is a lot stronger than it was just an hour ago. I can't believe it. I have never experienced winds this strong.
People in the metro woke up to extreme conditions with high winds and blowing snow, creating dangerous driving conditions. We begin with breaking news. 19th Avenue North is now open after closing early this morning. And that's the story for several other highways and interstates forced to close because of the blizzard conditions. Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero joins us live now from 19th Avenue North in Fargo. Joshua, what are the conditions like now?
Andrea, although 19th Avenue North is open and cars are driving by, it is frigid cold out here. The wind is blowing some snow onto 19th Avenue North. As you can see, cars are continuing to go fast, but I just have to warn you how cold it is. Law enforcement or just city officials are also recommending people to not go out if they don't have to in this cold. I mean, it's so cold. I was out here doing a live shot in the noon, and I call it cold burn. So that's just how mindful it is, and you should protect yourself whenever you're going. Now, again, 19th Avenue North is open, as well as most interstates in the area, most roads. I'm going to send it right back to you in the studio, Andrea. Reporting live in Fargo, Joshua Pagero, Valley News Live.
All right, thanks, Joshua, for that live report. The city often has to close 19th Avenue North during winter storms because blowing snow and low visibility cause dangerous conditions for drivers. And that Arctic wind we've been feeling all day is still gusty, but not as strong as it was earlier. And we're not out of the woods yet. Tonight is bound to be brutal. Let's get more from Hutch in your No Wait weather planner. Hutch?
Our attention is now turning from the blizzard-like conditions to the deadly cold that is going to set up across the valley. And that's right, it'll only take minutes for frostbite to set in. You're looking at a live shot from our Valley Skycam of sundogs, often showing up when we have those ice crystals suspended in the atmosphere. Today's peak winds hit 61 miles per hour near Grand Forks, 53 mile per hour gusts in Fargo. Wind chills tonight will be between 40 and 60 below zero at times as our air temperatures will continue to plunge. Fergus Falls, look at that, 17 below there, the actual air temperature right now. This morning at 9:15, Cavalier was at 54 below for a wind chill. You can see how the coldest of the wind chills spread through the valley today as those gusty winds and cold air have spread south. So we are expecting the air temperatures to continue their plummet down. Wind chills will be dangerous. We want to take this opportunity to remind you to take care of your furry four-feathered friends. And if you do have new livestock out there, do what you can to protect them. It's going to be ridiculously cold. Again, wind chill values down to 60 below in places. I'll have hour-by-hour details on that, and we'll look ahead at when we may just have a chance to see some warmer weather around here.
Looking forward to that.
Yes.
Thanks, Hutch. To keep up with the conditions anytime, anywhere, make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app. You'll get the latest forecasts and conditions so that you can plan your day. All you have to do is search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free. Most of the roads that were closed earlier, as we mentioned, have reopened. That includes Interstate 29 and 19th Avenue North in Fargo, where you saw Joshua. Earlier conditions were brutal, leaving some people stranded and other drivers in the ditch. Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard shows you.
Jackknife semis, cars pulled off on exit ramps, and a pure white sight.
Oh, look at that wind going and going and going and blowing and blowing and blowing. It was awful. We heard it all night.
For Debbie Howard, her journey stayed within the metro, but she seemed to sum up what most drivers felt while on the road.
It was very scary, and there were people that shouldn't be out in their little cars.
Responded to a number of crashes and other calls for service. Fortunately, no real injuries, so that's, I guess, some of the good news out of this.
Authorities were kept busy. In Kittson County, this semi flipped in the ditch along Highway 75. No one was injured, but it wasn't the only semi crash. There was another on I-94, 15 miles outside of Moorhead. This is Highway 9 in Clay County, where a truck hauling a trailer slid off into the ditch. Authorities say the only reason you can even see anything in this video is the shelter of trees to the side of the road.
Slow it down, drive for the conditions, and be ready for anything that could happen.
Because at any second, you can go from the road to the ditch. On Interstate 94 in Minnesota, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
To stay up to date on weather conditions, download our Valley News Live app. A Monoman man is dead from a gunshot wound. It happened yesterday afternoon in Monoman. Authorities are not explaining the circumstances, but did say they believe it was an isolated incident and that there's no threat to the public. The man was life-flighted to Fargo, where he later died from his injuries. His name has not been released. One man is now in jail after allegedly punching a woman in the face, strangling her and threatening her with a knife. Officials say it happened this morning around 3. The victim says she and 23-year-old Corwin Deacon were in an argument that got out of hand. When police arrived, they noticed the victim had bruising on her face and strangulation marks on her neck. Deacon is in jail on domestic violence charges. He'll be in court on March 11th. Police in Bemidji are asking for your help finding another missing teenager. 13-year-old Osmond Hunt Fairbanks was last seen in the city around 11:20 last night. She's about 5'4", 120 pounds, with brown eyes and long brown hair. Anyone with information should call police. Neighbors in West Fargo say they're frustrated because they haven't gotten their mail for days. One woman from the Beverly Flats area says a dog jumped into the mail carrier's truck and nipped at them. The West Fargo Post Office says their mail carriers have been nipped at twice in that neighborhood. They say both carriers are okay, but they believe it's not safe to send them there. Stick with Valley News Live as we continue to learn more on where you can pick up your mail. We've got new reaction this evening, the fallout from an entire team of federal prosecutors walking away from the case against President Trump's longtime friend, Roger Stone. Did the Justice Department do the president a favor by backing off jail time, or did those prosecutors go too far? NBC's Tracy Potts has the latest developments from Capitol Hill.
Today, President Trump is congratulating Attorney General William Barr for handling what he calls a case totally out of control, run by rogue prosecutors who cut and ran after being exposed.
Roger Stone was treated horribly, and so were many other people. Their lives were destroyed.
All 4 prosecutors left the case against Trump associate Roger Stone. One left his job after the Justice Department reversed their recommendation that Stone get 7 to 9 years in prison for lying to Congress and obstructing the Russia investigation. That happened just hours after the president complained it's too harsh.
You have murderers and drug addicts. They don't get 9 years. 9 years for doing something that nobody even can define what he did.
Did the Attorney General do his boss a favor?
What is more swampy? What is more fetid? What is more stinking than the most powerful person in the country literally changing the rules to benefit a crony guilty of breaking the law?
How much jail time Stone gets, if any, is up to the judge.
But no matter what she does now, right, there's a chance that it won't be perceived as fair.
But was 9 years fair? That was the maximum sentence, including witness tampering, which Republicans say was not proven.
I got real concerns about overzealous prosecution more than anything else. I want Mr. Stone to be treated fairly.
The Senate's top Democrat is asking the Justice Department's Inspector General to investigate.
But late today, Attorney General William Barr did agree to testify to the House Judiciary Committee next month. They have been trying to get him in for months since the Mueller report came out. It was a narrow victory for Bernie Sanders as he was named the winner of Tuesday's New Hampshire primary. After the chaos in Iowa, the results came in quickly in New Hampshire. Pete Buttigieg was right behind Sanders and received just as many delegates as the Vermont senator, giving him the overall delegate lead in the primary race so far. Senator Amy Klobuchar took 3rd place and is rising in the polls. The Democratic hopefuls now turn their attention to the primaries in South Carolina and Nevada. Deval Patrick is out of the race for president. The former Massachusetts governor announced today that he is suspending his presidential campaign. The announcement comes a day after a disappointing finish in the New Hampshire primary. Patrick finished 9th, garnering less than 1% of the vote. Entrepreneur Andrew Yang and Colorado Senator Michael Bennet also dropped out of the race.